Hello there, thank you, and for joining us on Face Off today. I'm Neota Egbe. Now, this is one matter that has remained a thorny issue across board: minimum wage. It has always been one matter that the government and organized labor have had to go back and forth over. At the same time, it resulted in a very lengthy strike period. Indeed, it has been one matter that has cost government and labor to have the most of meetings. Recently, November 20th to be precise, but 19th or 20th or thereabout, labor had a rally where they were demanding for an upward review of the minimum wage to 50,000 naira. Before that rally, there's been that talk from the governors of various states who were talking about the fact that the 18,000 minimum wage across board is not feasible because some states are not able to handle this matter, and so it should be allowed for them to decide how they can handle it. The minimum wage is a product of a tripartite agreement between the government, both federal and state, and employers Consultative Association and Organized Labor, which was signed into law in March 2011 by the previous administration. Indeed, should the minimum wage be slashed or increased as the NLC is demanding? There are those who would argue. New Zealand, for instance, let's do a little bit of comparison across board and see what some countries are using as minimum wage. New Zealand, for instance, has a minimum wage for those aged 18 years and above of $11.9 per hour. That's for New Zealand. Those that are 16 and 17 years have about $9 or thereabout as minimum wage per hour. Now, go down to the Netherlands. The Netherlands has about, and it's trying to be corrected here, about $9 per hour as minimum wage. But come to Nigeria. Let's break it down. Nigeria has about $115, an equivalent of $115 per hour. Whoa. Is that based on the current exchange rate? Okay, let's look at it in Naira terms. Nigeria's minimum wage is 18,000 Naira per month, not per hour. Whew. So is the NLC right to demand that it be increased to 50,000 Naira? Is the government right, or are the governors correct to say that a flat rate across board is not good enough because some of them are not able to handle it? What can be done? Is there a middle point where both parties can agree? Well, I have two people in the studio. I have a member of the Nigerian Labour Congress. She's the chairman, political committee, NLC Lagos Council, and immediate chair of SANU in Lagos State University. She's Comrade Funmi Sesi. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And on the other side is a legal practitioner, Oluyinka Oyeniji, who's a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, too. Good evening, madam.
Good evening.
All right, let's begin with a quick one in 10 seconds.
Okay.
Should the minimum wage be slashed or increased?
Well, if we have to look at the economic reality of the country, we'll see that even the 18,000 Naira minimum wage in Nigeria is nowhere to take anybody home.
So it should be increased.
So it should be increased.
All right, thank you. Should it be increased or slashed?
I don't think it should be increased. To increase minimum wage at this point will be very financially unreasonable.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We'll be back to have a conversation. We need to keep this real quick. But we'd also like to let you know that you can be a part of the conversations. You can send your tweets to @FaceOff today or @Neota Egbe. Or if it's longer than 140 characters, send us a mail, faceoff@channelstv.com. We'll be back, but please, if you're sending any comments, keep it short, precise, and straight to the point. And please be civil and decent. We'll be back. Don't go away. Welcome back. So that question we're asking, in the face of the present economic realities, should the minimum wage be increased or slashed? Okay, so we're back in the studio. Madam, you say it should be increased.
Oh, yeah.
You say it should be slashed. So maybe you should ask her a question so that she can take off.
All right, I'll ask, is minimum wage as it is that the major problem that the workforce has in this country now?
Well, I would say that the minimum wage is not actually the major problem that we have, but it is part of the problems that the workers have in this country. So let me start by stating it clear that even the 18,000 Naira the governors are paying is not even enough, it's not adequate to cater for all the needs of every family. You understand? The 18,000 Naira, if we have to look at it, let us all look at the salaries which politicians are taking in this country. If you look at the salaries of the governors themselves, it is only their basic salary that you know. All other allowances, it is not in the fiscal salary scale. You understand? All the allowances like vehicle allowances, maintenance, whatever, they just appropriate monies for themselves. And you see the kind of lifestyle all these governors are living. You understand? So for them now to come out and say the 18,000 naira, they are still going to reduce it. That means it's a cowardice on their own part. Because 18,000 naira cannot even sustain most of the family. Come to think of it, look at states like Lagos State now, where even accommodation in Lagos State, you know, is 18,000 naira is not even enough to pay for some of the accommodations in Lagos State. You are now saying you want to reduce it again. Talk of feeding, talk of sending children to school, talk of all other activities that you have to do in the home. You still want to slash 18,000 naira. Does it mean that our leader, our politicians, they don't even appreciate the effort of people to return Nigeria back to democracy? Is that what they are telling us? Is that the way to pay the workers back? Workers who are toiling day and night to ensure that Nigeria continue to move on. They are the ones that are doing all this work. And the governors are just the leaders. You understand? And now they want to say that those who are doing this work, they don't want to pay them. Is that what they are saying? Is that what they are telling us in this country? That will not be taken by the workers of the country.
Yeah, you have to ask me.
No, I'm asking. She has finished.
Okay.
Is that what they are saying?
Well, I would say
that having worked done all that they've done to keep this country going, they should not be paid.
Well, I will start from where she left it, or where she started off. Okay, she started off talking about the fact that it is not the major problem that workers are facing, and that's what I'm saying. Mind you, you are a part of their association, and I am also part. All right, NLC comprises of all the workers, so that's where I'm coming from.
But are you getting this 18,000 minimum?
18,000, you won't believe it, that the standard of salary scale takes everybody to the same market, takes everybody to access the same services, and it is the same scale by which clients pay you in the kind of service I render. So this is what I would say in response. I think that the time has come to eschew unnecessary sentiments with respect to economy and the perspective by which the economy will run. I do not intend to politicize this issue, all right? But there's no gainsaying and overstating the fact that Nigerians overwhelmingly voted the government, okay? Now, the minimum wage you are talking about is a law. What we all owe, the responsibility we owe, including Madam on that side of the divide, is to educate the lawmakers on the continued relevance of the Nigeria Minimum Wage Act or a review thereof. I say to you today for free, Madam, that if there be any state government that does not pay the minimum wage as it is today, then that state governor is liable to be impeached. How many times have you gone to meet your governor? How many times have you gone to address your State House of Assembly members to say that the fact that you are not paying this minimum wage is tantamount to committing an impeachable offense? That the fact that you are not obeying the law of the land, which says that 18,000 naira is what you should pay us, that it makes you impeachable. Has it ever been done? Well, I'm going to name names, and I'm sorry.
No.
Let me take you up from that point. Let me take you up that in this country, we all pay lip service. You understand? Lip service in the sense that all of us, you know, we pretend. Even when we know that things are going wrong, we pretend that all is well. In the sense that we all know that politicians, they have taken things too far. You understand? They appropriate even monies that they are not even supposed to be earning. They appropriated it to themselves. If you look at the senators in Nigeria, what they earn, look at the reps, look at what they earn in Nigeria. It's even far ahead of what they earn in United States of America. You understand? Yes, in US, look at the minimum wage for workers. It's $1,257. But in Nigeria, what do you have? In a month, it's less than $100. That is the minimum wage in US, $1,257. But in Nigeria, it is less than $100 per month. That is starvation wage, which could even make the people, make the workers, you understand, revolt. To even say, to revolt, and to make us to want to have a rethink about this government that we have voted in. Have we done the right thing by putting in?
Well, one of the things you talked about is the economy. Are you also looking at the economic side of things? I mean, is it...
How did the economy, how did we get ourselves to this stage?
You want me to make an...
How did we get ourselves to this stage? Look at all that is happening now. Look at the revelations of what is happening. Look at those who we call our leaders. Are they really leading us the way they're supposed to? Look at how they've been appropriating money. Look at how corruption has eaten deep in the system. Is it the fault of the workers? Are the workers corrupt?
I think one of the things he has
said... Are they not the politicians that are so corrupt in this country?
One of the things
look at how they have appropriated money.
Paid? At least get the 18,000 naira paid first before you ask for an increase.
And again, this is what I'm saying. I'll try. Hold on a minute, madam. It's something we can resolve because people may be unnecessarily sentimental about this. And I want us to be very practical.
No, it's not about sentimental.
No, hold on a minute. Just hold on.
It's not about sentimental because the workers are very annoyed.
Hold on, madam. I'm sitting on this divide. I'm going to try as much as possible to justify it. This is what I'm saying. You have quoted statistics from US. You have quoted from New Zealand. You have quoted from everywhere. You talked about corruption. I'll take that as the second one. But I talk about the first one. Take my minimum wage. If I was a civil servant, I don't want to earn any fee. Guess what? But I want effective transportation system. I want to be able to buy something from a supermarket and I get coupons that will get me...
I will take you up on that.
Hold on, madam. Let me finish. Calm down. No, just calm down. Understand? Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. In United Kingdom, you pay at least 50% of what you are earning. That's what you pay. So do not come with minimum wage. Minimum wage is tantamount to what is remaining at the end of the month. That is your wage exactly. Okay, you have talked about minimum wage. Have you talked about housing allowance? Have you asked yourself those questions? Both my parents retired as civil servants. When we were growing up, we had no reason. I'm sure they were earning as little as 350 naira at that time. Have you asked yourself what dollar is to naira today? Before you start talking about minimum wage at all, have you talked about strengthening the naira against the dollar so that whatever you take home will be enough for you? It is not minimum wage that is the problem. It is the lack of re-engineering. I preach social communism. Build state infrastructures. Bring back our good NITEL so that I don't have to pay through my nose for data services. So excuse me, ma. Excuse me, madam.
Let me take up on that.
Okay, gents, hold on.